Welcome in. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hopefully, you all are having a great Thursday. I am coming off a great day on Wednesday, too. 2-0 on the video yesterday. We cashed the 2-unit play, which was the over 9.5 in the Phillies Rangers game. In all honesty, that should have been a 3-4 unit play for me yesterday. Typically, I don't do that, but I do it when I'm feeling good. That was the best I felt about a bet for the entire baseball season. It was a pretty much sweat-free cash. It cashed in like the 6th inning. So yesterday was a great day. We also hit the Pirates' first 5 money line thanks to Jared Jones. He got a little squirrely in the 5th inning there, but it didn't matter because they had put 5 runs up on Blake Snell thanks to a grand slam. So yesterday, great day. Looking forward to today as well. I will preface this by saying, typically I bet a little bit lighter volume on Thursdays compared to other days just because there's less baseball games. Typically, there's a lot of day games, and things can just tend to get a little bit weird on Thursdays, I feel. So I do bet a little bit lighter today, but still, there's a couple props I'm looking at for today. And then I want to talk some basketball at the end because there is an NBA play I like as well. If you're watching this video, thank you. I appreciate it. Be sure to drop a like there on the video, subscribe to the channel so you know when we go live and when I post these videos every single day. I've had some people reach out to me, a couple different people saying they missed the live streams at 3 p.m. Don't worry, I'm focusing on these pre-recorded videos for the time being, but by the end of the summer, when we're getting more towards college football and NFL season coming, I will say there is room for the recorded videos and the live streams to both coexist. So for now, be patient, like the video, be sure to support in that aspect, and the live streams will definitely come back before you know it. Let's dive in here. I have the live trends tool pulled up here on Bet Karma. If you're interested in checking out these tools that I show off on the stream and the videos every single day, you can go to betkarma.com/pricing for access to the tools and my premium betting cards where we profited about 2 units last night. So I'm going to skip over some of these early games because first of all, I'm putting this video out earlier than normal. Normally I post it by about 1 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to get this out early in the day because there's just less going on today. But I'm going to skip over some of these early games. I'm going to go straight down to the night games. So the first game that I want to talk about is this Orioles White Sox. The total is 8.5. There's a decent little amount of sharp money coming in on the over here. And I think it could be a good game to target for offensive production when we think about, who's pitching here for both teams. The White Sox are going to throw out Mike Clevenger. The Orioles are throwing out Grayson Rodriguez. Neither of these guys have had great seasons this year. Mike Clevenger, especially, if we look at his 2024 numbers, he's got a 5.56 ERA, which is a career high. He's got a 7.13 expected ERA, which is a career high. So that shows that he's been bad, but there's actually room for him to be even worse with that expected ERA sitting 2 runs higher than his actual. His strikeouts are down to a career low 18%. His walk rate's up to a almost career high 11%. It's just bad all around for Mike Clevenger right now. He has not had a good season. And this is going to be a tough ask for him, to go up against the Orioles offense. If we dive into his pitches, his fastball's been fine. He's throwing his fastball 40% of the time, changeup 24%, slider 21%. So really you're seeing 3 pitches from him. His fastball's actually been good. He's allowing a 214 batting average with it, 26% whiff rate, which is basically the highest whiff rate. His cutter has a higher whiff rate, but he doesn't throw it that often. So we've actually seen a pretty good fastball from him. So if I'm going to target him, I do want guys that can hit fastballs well because he's had a good fastball. And then his secondary pitches, the changeup's been all right. The slider's really what has got him into trouble. I don't know if it's because he's leaving it over the plate or if they're hanging up. I don't know what it is, but he's allowing a 625 batting average with that slider this year. 525 expected batting average, 657 weighted on base. He's given up 2 doubles and 5 hits total with that slider. and he does not have a strikeout recorded with the slider either. So it's been really, really bad when it comes to the slider for him. When we pull up the Orioles numbers as a team, like I said, I want guys that can hit fastballs well against him. The Orioles are a great fastball hitting team. The team as a whole has a 340 around a 340 WOBA, 181 ISO. Overall, Gunnar Henderson, Adley Rutschman, Ryan O'Hearn, Westberg, Santander, Colton Cowser, Cedric Mullins, all of these guys have fantastic numbers against fastballs. So something's going to have to give here, right? It's a good fastball against a great fastball hitting team. Something's going to have to give in this game tonight. If we look at the other pitches that he throws, that being changeup, slider, the one constant for me here is Gunnar Henderson. Gunnar Henderson is having an amazing season, and he has amazing numbers against all three of those pitches that Mike Clevenger's going to offer. He also has, if you look at just against right-handed pitching in general, he has the highest hard hit rate on this team since the start of last season by a wide margin. He has one of the best line drive rates, fly ball rates. Everything is coming up Gunnar Henderson when I look at this matchup. And to top that off, he bats from the left side. If we look at Mike Clevenger for his career, he's been way worse against lefties than righties. This year, he's just been flat out bad against both sides of the plate. But everything's coming up Gunnar Henderson when I look at this matchup. So for me, the first play that I'm looking at tonight is going to be a batter prop. And we're going to go with Gunnar Henderson over 1.5 total bases. It's juiced up on FanDuel at -130. Let me pull up DraftKings separately here. Let me see if we can get a better number than that, because I really don't want to lay -130 with a basis prop. So let's just take a look. DraftKings has him at, let's see, total bases, -115. So much better odds. So if you're going to take this, we're going to take this on DraftKings. Gunnar Henderson over 1.5 total bases at -115. That's going to be the first play for me tonight. The second play that I wanted to look at is the game directly above this on the trends tool. We have the Blue Jays and Tigers, 7.5 total, which this obviously sticks out to me. It's not uncommon to see a 7.5 total, but it has to be two really good pitchers. And you'll see that tonight we have Kevin Gausman going for the Blue Jays, Jack Flaherty for the Tigers. I've been a big Jack Flaherty proponent this season. We've bet on him a number of times. He's come through for us. He's having an amazing season, really a renaissance season there during his time in Detroit. The Cardinals clearly messed up, should not have let him go. I don't know what was going on behind the scenes there, but clearly something was up when you look at his numbers last year compared to this year. On the Kevin Gausman side of things, he started off, he was kind of banged up, like he was dealing with some shoulder fatigue and stuff like at the beginning of the season, and he came out of the gate really bad. Since then, over the last month, he doesn't have Kevin Gausman numbers that we are accustomed to foreseeing from Kevin Gausman, especially in the strikeout department, but his numbers have been better. His Sierra is down, in the mid threes over the last 30 days. His strikeouts, again, they're not there at they're like 22, 23% over the last 30 days. So that's really not Kevin Gausman territory. But all in all, he seems to be rebounding. The reason that I'm interested in this is, even though this hasn't been the Kevin Gausman of old, we're getting a severe discount on his props because of the fact that he is not the Kevin Gausman of old. This is a guy that we're accustomed to seeing 7.5 strikeout props from. But now we're getting him at a severe discount because he hasn't been good. If I look at his pitch mix, if you know anything about Kevin Gausman, he's notorious for his split finger. His splitter is what he goes to get strikeouts. And that's kind of what he's relied on during his ascension to stardom once he joined the Blue Jays. Like, he became one of the best strikeout pitchers in baseball over the last few seasons. I mean, if you look at his numbers of back when he started out, he's always had decent strikeout ability, but early in his career, 22%, 23%, 22%, 20%. Then we see a jump up to 25 in 2019. This is when he really started going all in on that splitter. And you can see just in the strikeout totals since 2020, 32, 30, 28, 31, 4 or 5 straight years of dominant strikeout numbers when he started offering that splitter, more often than he was early on his career. This year, even though the numbers are still, not good, he's still getting a 27% strikeout rate with that split finger, allowing a 216 batting average with that split finger. And, a 27% strikeout rate is not good compared to the numbers he was putting up in the past, where last year, a 42% strikeout rate with the splitter, 2022, 42%. 45% in 2021. So clearly it's not as good. And he was kind of dealing with some velocity drop to begin the season as well. So, it's not good, but a 27% strikeout rate with that pitch, that will still play for me against a Detroit team that I do feel like you can pick on with right-handed pitching. I know they've been better this year than in years past, but Kevin Gausman has always been kind of a guy that has had success against this team. I'm not a big BVP guy. I'm not a big pitcher versus batter guy. Anyone that has followed my content for years knows that I just really don't buy into BVP, these 10 game sample sizes or whatever. But when we're talking about a distinct pitch, that being his splitter, I'll buy into that, to the maybe historical data here. So if I pull up the Tigers lineup, right, and I just isolate their numbers since the start of last year against splitters, the team has a 220 WOBA and a 35% strikeout rate. They have terrible numbers against splitters. Really, only Mark Canha and Kerry Carpenter have any semblance of respectable numbers against split fingers. So the team itself is not good against the pitch he goes to get strikeouts. And then if I look at Kevin Gausman's career against the Detroit Tigers active roster, we have an 84 plate appearance sample size per Baseball Savant. 256 expected WOBA allowed is very good. 190 expected batting average allowed is very good. 29% strikeout rate. So, like I said, in years past, we would see a 7.5 strikeout total from Gausman in this matchup. But now, because he's been so bad this year, we don't have to bet an over 7.5. We're getting him at 5.5 strikeouts. And, you know, as of right now, this is minus 113. I don't know if this will get juiced up. I have no idea, but I'm going to go ahead and bet it. It's a Thursday. Let's have some fun. And let's take a strikeout prop here. Kevin Gausman over 5.5 strikeouts at minus 113 odds. That's what I'm taking. So 2 props for today. Gunnar Henderson over 1.5 total bases, minus 115. Kevin Gausman over 5.5 strikeouts, minus 113. That's my 2 MLB plays for today. I also want to talk about basketball. Let me pull up the live trends for basketball here. We have Indiana and Boston game 2 tonight. And man, this just feels like a massacre in Boston. And I'm rooting for the Pacers in this series, so maybe I'll be wrong. But if anyone was tuned into my live stream, we did a watch party for the Pacers Celtics on Tuesday night. And I said about halfway through the game, I said, this feels like an overtime game where Boston wins and Indiana is kind of like, wow, we really let one slip away. And that's exactly what happened. Indiana completely choked. And now, they have to come out and play tonight. They were coming off a grueling 7-game series against a really physical Knicks team. And then they come out and they have a game won. The game was won with 10 seconds left in the game. And somehow, some way, Boston tied it up, went to overtime, and won. So, they are a young team. Maybe it won't affect them as much, but I have a hard time imagining Indiana's going to be able to emotionally recover from that in a day and a half and come out and play another game against a rested Boston team. So this feels like an absolute domination from the Celtics tonight. I think that you can bet them for the first quarter spread. It's 3 on DraftKings, 3.5 on FanDuel. If you want to bet that, I'd take it on DK to get that push potential. But I think you can bet them first quarter. I think you can bet them first half. I think you can alt spread them up to that 20, 21 plus, whatever you get odds on FanDuel or DraftKings. Like, this just feels like a domination from the Celtics, in my opinion. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to our card. So it's going to be a 3-pick video, the 2 MLB props, and then we're definitely going to bet the Boston Celtics in some fashion here. I'm debating the 3 on draft, the first quarter -3 or the first half. Let's see what the first half line is. I think it was 5.5 FanDuel. DraftKings has first half at -5. So I think we can do either one. Let's go first half -5. Boston Celtics first half -5. It's -110 odds. But I'm probably just going to sprinkle the first quarter, the first half, and then an alternate spread because I really think Boston's going to dominate tonight. But that's just my take. Like I said, I'm rooting for the Pacers. Maybe they'll prove me wrong. But overall, 3-pick video today. If you guys made it to the end, thank you so much. Like the video, subscribe to the channel so you know when I post these every single day. Good luck with your bets tonight, and I will see everybody on Friday.